Most Minecraft theory and lore enthusiasts agree on the fact that there is evidence for some sort of ancient civilization, originally dubbed Ancient Builders by MatPat from Game Theory. On the Minecraft lore timeline, this big group of human-like characters came first, before the playable modern Minecraft we have today. But what about the time period before the Ancient Builders? Before the Nether? Before the Wither? Before any sort of extinction event? Before any feature in Minecraft as we know it, back to the void, back to how Minecraft's entire world was formed. Welcome to the beginning of the timeline. Welcome to Minecraft's Big Bang Theory. Welcome to another episode of Minecraft Lore. Despite its name, we're going to start in the end. I believe it was, well, actually the beginning. I think the end's overall setting is in space, or at least how we humans understand space in the real world. Now, why do I think that is? Before the end was added into the game, there were two dimensions we as players knew of: the Nether and the Overworld. Using our small brain logic and the fact that it's literally called Overworld, we can at least understand that the Nether lays below the Overworld. When the end was added, I think it was intended to be quote-unquote above the Overworld in this weird theoretical juxtaposition of Minecraft's dimensions. Something kind of funny, or at least I think it's funny, that relates to this is if you dig into Minecraft's game files a little bit, they have separate folders for each dimension that handles all of their unique generations and other super cool, smart, gamey stuff. There's a folder for the Nether which is called dim or dim -1, and then a folder for the end that is called dim +1. I'm assuming dim or dim means dimension, and I'm also imagining the -1 and +1 are representing the y-axis in our fun theoretical dimension view. Meaning, the overworld is y equals 0 and the end lies above it and the nether lies below it. Again, this is kind of funny and I don't really think it means anything, but for the purposes of this lore story, I'm calling it evidence. Okay, so back to the story then. Before there was any life in the Minecraft universe, the rocky, barren end islands were suspended in space. Similar to the real Big Bang Theory, there was one central large mass that was exerting a lot of gravitational force on the smaller islands around it. The smaller islands were rotating around the bigger mass. Over a vast amount of time, this caused a lot of cosmic tension and the rocks began smashing into each other. And well, then the rubber band snapped and bang. All of the end stone was pushed together due to the strong gravitational forces and then thrust apart incredibly fast, just like the Big Bang in our universe. The mass explosion caused the end islands to spread out infinitely. Elements were spread all over the Minecraft universe. When the dust settled, there were 3 huge superclusters left over. These would end up being the End, the Overworld, and the Nether. The End was the vast islands of barren endstone that we know of today floating through space. The Overworld was at first just a large mass of bedrock. The Nether early on was made of extremely hot materials as a result of the Big Bang, mostly netherrack, molten rock, magma, and lava at the beginning of time. Now, a side effect of the mass explosion was the creation of small pockets of habitable atmospheric conditions. Now, in real life, this would be nitrogen and oxygen mainly, but obviously Minecraft doesn't really have anything of that sort. But at the very beginning of time, up in the large islands of the brand new End dimension, conditions were slowly becoming perfect. And then over a time period of who knows how long, the elements from the aftermath of the Big Bang Theory began interacting with each other. Eventually, something happened. Eventually, there was a spore. The spore was a little different than our understanding of life here on real Earth. Our little spore was comprised of something special, something that allowed it to thrive in extreme conditions in the darkness of the End. The End fog provided enough nutrients for growth, and sunlight became completely unnecessary. Over some more time, the spore evolved and adapted, becoming bigger and better with each generation. And then, it grew. The spore germinated, and the new seed became a large plant. And what is the large plant that we have in the end today? That's right. Our little spore became chorus fruit. This means that chorus fruit was the first life in all of Minecraft's universe. Now, this is a huge speculation, obviously, and honestly, this video is pretty much a Minecraft story and less of a lore based on facts thingy, but there is actually some evidence to back the chorus fruit up. Minecraft writer Duncan Gears' Taking Inventory series goes through a deep dive on every block in the game. The article on chorus fruit was published November 5, 2020. In this article, Duncan confirms that chorus fruit is based on real-life dragon fruit. What's interesting about dragon fruit is its liking for nocturnal conditions. The dragon fruit plant only flowers or produces fruit a few times a year, and these flowers thrive overnight, relying on bats and moths for fertilization, which is like super metal. Duncan then states that it's perfect for the end's conditions. As far as why I think it's the very first life in the universe is because the end feels very, very old to me. Like, not only does it just look wacky, but chorus fruit, to me at least, looks like an incredibly ancient plant. And then exploring the vastness and emptiness makes me feel like I'm looking into the past when I'm zooming around looking for end cities. There's just something odd about the whole place, and to me it gives a sense of, well, oldness. Also, the Ender Dragon just feels very, like, elder to me. I know I'm reaching here, and I don't really have a great explanation for why it feels so old, it just kind of does, doesn't it? But bear with me anyways. Now, what happened after the chorus fruit began taking over? I believe the next step in this Minecraft evolution timeline is the Endermite. I have a solid case to make about why Endermites are the first animal life in Minecraft's universe. The Endermite is an arthropod. We know this not only because the wiki says it's true, but the Bane of Arthropods enchantment works against them, just like it does against spiders and silverfish. Arthropods were among the first major organisms in Earth's animal kingdom, which in turn makes the Endermite feel extremely ancient. Another piece comes from Minecraft's Mobestiary book. Now, I know there is a heavy debate on whether or not the Mobestiary is canon. I personally don't know which side of the fence I fall on, but I'm going to present this small bit and you can form your own opinions on it. In the book, on the page for Endermite, there is a section that reads as follows. But I have to wonder whether its vulnerability to the Bane of Arthropods may indicate that the Endermite is related to the overworld spiders and silverfish. Perhaps both theories are correct, and the Endermite is evidence that beings have traveled to the overworld for millennia. This makes me think even further that the Endermite for sure came first. So let's talk about what happened to them next. Once they became big enough and outcompeted every other early end little organism, they began utilizing the only food source on the end islands, this of course being the chorus fruit. Now in modern Minecraft, when we as players eat chorus fruit, we are teleported a small distance in a random direction. I believe this was an adaptation of some sort of defense mechanism to the little feasting Endermites. Like when the little guy would take a big bite, the chorus fruit harnessed some sort of energy to start shooing them away. I think this ended up backfiring at some point. As we know in Minecraft today, Endermites live in some sort of in-between state, only appearing in an extremely rare chance every time an Ender Pearl is thrown. As to why that is, well, that's a story for another time. Wink wink, nudge nudge, hint hint. Oh, by the way, on that cliffhanger note, subscribe so you don't miss a single future lore or story video, and also if you're all cozied up with some popcorn and your favorite jammies and blankies, like the video. Or just do that if you're enjoying yourself anyway. And to go back to the earlier point for a second about the Endermite's relation to the overworld, I believe the Endermite was able to travel to the overworld from this newfound in-between space as stated in the Minecraft Mobestiary. And then maybe later on in the timeline it evolved into the modern day spider and silverfish or something. So the Endermites got completely cast away by chorus fruit's newfound defense. All except for one. Or, probably a few. The Endermites must have had some sort of alpha or some sort of queen Endermite. These were bigger and stronger and faster than the rest, and wasn't as affected by the chorus fruit's new defenses. These giant endermites hibernated for generations, gaining strength and size from the elements of the Big Bang still floating around, and eventually grew and evolved into our beloved Ender Dragon. And so, well, that was it, until close to present-day Minecraft. Ender Dragons and chorus fruit on a vast landscape of mostly nothingness. So after this, I believe everything that happened in the end was artificial, caused by the ancient builders. I've referenced MatPat's videos quite a bit in these lore videos, and his theory on the history of the Enderman is great work and something that I think fits into our story here. In summary from that video, the Endermen are actually ancient builders who moved to the end to avoid the apocalypse in the overworld and evolved into Endermen by eating chorus fruit they found there. They're the ones who built the end cities and the end ships. As far as the Ender Dragon, if I may sidetrack from our Big Bang Theory for a second here because I think it's a cool thing, I believe there used to be many dragons roaming the end. And once the ancient builders moved in and built their end cities and end ships, they hunted the dragons to near extinction. I mean, why else would there be trophy-like dragon heads on the ends of their warship remnants? Something in their morals must have switched as they evolved into Endermen, so they decided to keep one alive, which became the final boss of the game. Not to blue ball any of you or cause any disappointment, but I want to keep this story a bit vague for now. I know I only really talked about the Ends development and left out the overworld and the Nether, but I don't want to get too far into the weeds and take away from the title of the video, which is referencing the way Minecraft was before any of the land as we know it today. Which again, I believe completely began in the end. Which I still can't get over how funny that sounds. Should really start calling the end the beginning. But on that note, if you'd like to see me dive into the development of the other two dimensions a little more, let me know in the comments below. On that same coin, drop a comment with your theories on the most cosmically ancient times of Minecraft. And well, there you have it. Obviously the most simple explanation of Minecraft's world creation is that, well, it was programmed by the absolute legend Notch himself. But it's fun to think about Minecraft on a cosmic scale and really critically think about how the Minecraft universe came to be in the lore. And so if you enjoyed this rendition of Minecraft lore, let me know by leaving a like on the video. Subscribe if you're brand new around here, you won't want to miss any of the future stories. And with that, I'll leave you cosmonauts to it. I hope you have the best day, week, month, and many years of your life, truly. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.